Just like old times, Connor.
Hello, Aidan Green. How are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good.
Nice
good.
to be sat down after a brand new episode of Doctor Who.
I've missed it, man. I've missed coming in and talking about a new Who app.
Yeah.
As you call it.
Yeah, as much as we like to sit here and complain the whole time, it's good to be back doing it.
With the kids.
With the kids. It's good to be back doing it on Christmas as well.
Thank you for the ginger beer.
Oh, we got to get a bit festive,
Merry
don't
Christmas.
we? Merry Christmas, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to your health.
For old Lang's eye.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's Boxing Day here in Australia, so we're a little bit later getting this one out today, so apologies for that, but it did come out at like 2 a.m. in Australia time or something like that, so...
Yeah, so I was awake when the Series 2 trailer dropped.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch it,
yeah.
But I was like, oh shit, it must have just aired.
Yeah.
So it's a lot earlier than normally would.
Yeah.
Because the 60th and stuff was like 3:30, I think. So, yeah.
So I do have a trailer breakdown either out already or coming out. I've already filmed it. So make sure you get around that one. So subscribe if you haven't already. And we're going to get straight into reviewing Joy to the World. I pressed the button a little bit too early.
50%, cat.
A bit too late, I should say.
Not to be confused with Joy to the Worlds.
Joy to the... Well, that was a bit confusing.
What the fuck?
I was so the whole... explaining this, the whole saga here is that sometimes when Disney Plus promoted Joy to the World, they called it Joy to the Worlds. Sometimes they said Joy to the World, whereas BBC always just said Joy to the World. And whenever someone would comment on the Disney Plus post saying Worlds or World, they would say, well, you'll just have to see and find out, is what they'd reply. And I'm like, okay. I was waiting for an explanation like in episode.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But nothing happened.
I thought maybe it was a smart thing, but it wasn't anything like that.
No, I think it was just like a mistake that they ended up just...
It was just a mistake.
Just running with.
And they're like, we'll just keep running with it.
Yeah, it's a gag. It's a gag.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this.
I'm pretty excited to talk about this one too, mate. So this episode came out yesterday. The synopsis is, this Christmas, the Doctor is thrown together with a cheery yet lonely hotel... with a cheery yet lonely hotel guest with a connection to a mysterious briefcase. Now, we know the stars, obviously, Ncuti Gatwa once again, with Nicola Coughlan as Joy Armando. Jonathan Harris plays the Silurian.
She has a last name?
Yeah. Joel Fry plays Trev Simpkins. And there's a bunch of other cool little guests in there as well. Who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
You do it. You take it.
Okay. So brief overall thoughts on the episode. I had fun. It was Christmas fodder. And I thought, well, this is fun. You know, it started and I thought, this is fun. It did something interesting in the second act and I thought, structurally it's a bit odd now, but it's fun. And the third act happened and I was like, it feels a little disconnected and I don't really care as much anymore, but still fun. And it ended with something that was so unnecessarily controversial and I just thought, fun. Fun. I can't wait to watch the discourse happen.
Fun is your word?
Fun would be my word to describe this episode. Connor, what did you think?
There genuinely is one thing that happens in this episode that I absolutely loved.
Oh, I got you.
Can you guess what it is?
Sit down and talk. Sitting in chairs, having a chat.
I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that.
We'll get to that as we walk through it. Oh, okay.
The rest, I just thought it was just so okay.
Oh yeah, it's so mid.
It's so mid.
It's mid, but for like Christmas fun, I'm here for it.
It was fine.
Yeah, okay.
I just.
But at least you're not mad. At least you're not like Doctor Who's dead.
Sure.
That's the pass mark for Doctor Who these days.
I think it was just okay. I think I expected a lot more from Steven. There's not really a villain, which is I'm not. Well, there's not really. I mean, Villain Guard, I guess, is like the main villain, and I think you even said on one of our Predictum podcasts, like, will Villain Guard be the main villain and stuff like that, and I guess that was true.
Yeah, it's not that just done with writing villains because Boom doesn't really have a villain either.
Yeah, he's just done.
He's like, yeah, I'll make it work with that one. That's so unnecessary.
Yeah. But yeah, overall thoughts, I just don't have any like inkling to ever rewatch it.
Oh, see, I'm not that bad. I
just don't give a shit.
I enjoyed it. I definitely Okay, the start, I was so into it.
Really?
Let's walk through it. Let's go.
I thought the start was like, I was just so not into it at the start.
Right.
Interesting.
So maybe the best way to do this is just to go act by act because it's very clearly for me split up into 3 acts and a bit messily so, but the first act is all the Doctor landing at the hotel, and it is. I like how they did something that I feel like we weirdly haven't seen a lot of in Doctor Who in the past, which is we sort of have the opening, the pre-title sequence or whatever, and the Doctor's coming around with the pumpkin latte and all that, and then the stuff happens with the Solarium walking in, and it's like comedy gimmick, fun title sequence, and then we explain what's happened. We then spend 10 minutes leading up to the pre-title sequence, which I just thought was a fun little structural thing. You're playing catch up, trying to put it together. I thought the set of the hotel looked really gorgeous and felt really Christmassy. I love hotels at Christmas. They're so nice. And especially if you splurge a little bit on one and it is like that little bit more elegant thing. For
sure.
It is really, I enjoyed it. I like that. And I thought Joel Fry was really fun at the start as well. What did you think?
I
hated it.
I found it quite janky and it was struggling to get my attention. I think I didn't really start to enjoy the episode until like the second act.
Okay.
I think the idea was actually really cool. I think the execution wasn't as interesting as I would have liked it to be. I think the whole like jumping to different like places in time is like actually really interesting, but I felt like we never really got to stay on like one place long enough to have it be anything. I found Joy's character very just kind of bland and like not really a fun companion.
Yeah.
I think that Anita was so much more interested and actually gave a shit about her character more somehow. Well, which is so weird, but like, yeah.
I think the thing with Joy is whenever she rocked up in this episode, I'll be like, oh yeah, Joy's in this episode. Yeah. The episode that has her name in the title. Yes. She's in it.
Yes.
And so the start, like, I was definitely more into Joel Fry's character at the start. I was like, he's funny.
Yeah,
like,
I agree. I think he was good.
He was good. I wish he was in it more. And then once again, when we get to the second act, when Anita has a bit more of a role, I thought she was definitely more interesting. She's Joy's such a bland character, and definitely when you get to the emotional stuff at the end, you're like, the COVID hospital stuff's really good, but other than that, I just sat there with like the star in her and stuff, and I'm like, oh, give me a break, man.
I think I was waiting. I think I was just waiting to enjoy it more, and because I loved what he did with Boom, and I think it's different though. It's a Christmas special. It's supposed to be like, you know, fun for the whole family, like acceptable to be putting on the TV, and you know, people who don't normally watch Doctor Who can watch it. And I think in that aspect, I think the episode works. That anyone could just sit down and enjoy it. They might be wondering who this young blonde woman is at the end for 10 seconds of screen time, but that's okay. Yeah, you know, that's okay. Yeah. Apart from that, I think like this is just like, I think as a fan of the show and like a fan of the Christmas specials and a fan of Moffat, I was expecting a bit more, and I would have liked a lot more character work. I think they did some interesting stuff with the Doctor, but I still think we're only just kind of scratching the surface with Shooty's Doctor. I think there's a lot more that could be done. Yeah. And hopefully we get that in series 2. But I think here we were scratching away a little bit more.
Definitely the highlight for me with the episode is that. But
yeah.
Before then, so we have this whole thing with the suitcase.
Yeah.
And
which I thought was cool.
It's cool. It looked cool as well. Like it's hovering and
that was
strapping
cool.
on.
I like that. I think that was a smart idea.
Yeah. And it's like killing the people that had it in the past.
Previously,
There's some like undercover mission. Essentially, they want to fast track the birth of a star. Yeah. Essentially, right? And Joy gets caught up in the whole thing. Solarium bloke dies pretty quick, unfortunately. So does Joel Fry, unfortunately. The tears are coming back.
They're ready to rock.
And then Nicola Coughlin's like, fucking put it on my arm, mate. Chaos ensues.
Well, did you like the Doctor crying?
I didn't think it was... He didn't overly cry, though. He just got, like, misty-eyed.
We just loved the same tear.
Yeah.
Right down
Did he get the tear?
Spot.
Did the tear come?
There was a tear with the Silurian, yeah.
It must have been small.
It's funny because, like, if they had just left the crying scene for the second act, I think that I could give a pass to because he spent, like, a whole year with her.
Yeah.
With the Silurian thing, I felt like it it was just kind of. I don't know if I believe it. And I'm supposed to believe it. And as much as I love the Silurians, I think they were just here for a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah.
There was no other reason why.
Yeah, it was just Moffat
There was a
being
Silurian.
Moffat.
It was just like, here's a Silurian because you know who they are. And it's funny. It's fun, as Aiden keeps saying. It's just fun.
Doctor Fun.
Doctor Fun. They're just having fun with Joy to the World.
So then they have this sequence where they open up the briefcase to try and figure out what's going on. They're like, oh, the big shiny thing. It was giving me the source from the Doctor's daughter energy. And Joy's like, close the fucking briefcase. And he's like, I'll use every second of this I can. I did think it was funny when after he closed it and he's like, see, I knew what I was doing. Then a fucking timer the timer with the passcode comes up and he's like, oh, I've fucked it here. But then that leads us into a very different second act. That feels like a massive step away from what we were doing. It's a step away that I enjoyed, but the whole time I was like, where are we going? I was like, this is amazing. This character work is the best I think we've seen of the Doctor in this new era. Yeah. But it was such a departure of the first act. And this, once I tell you this will make you just frustrated.
Okay.
Because I was sort of watching it and I was like, how could they have connected this a little bit more? And I've heard in interviews that Anita was originally meant to just be like 3 or 4 lines and then it just turned into something bigger. And I can see them being like, oh no, let's explore this more. And that's sort of how this happened.
Yeah.
But I do think there's another world where to flesh out Joy's character a little bit more, instead of the random hotel owner being who we spend 10 minutes with and the Doctor spends a year with, but Joy, it's him and Joy for the... Like,
that would make sense.
It would just make so much more sense. It would feel so much more connected to the narrative.
Yeah.
But that being said, I loved Anita. I loved seeing their bonding. It was very Power of 3 coded. Yes. But the whole sit down and have a conversation thing was just so like, we're finally doing sort of what the giggle promised. That more like chilled out thing. There is a line where he's like, I've never done this my whole life. And I'm like, well, there was a massive point a year and a half ago that we made about there's an entire incarnation of the Doctor that is now just going to sit down so that your incarnation can run off and do the fun stuff. Yeah. But this, for the first time, for me, felt like the first time that they've actually committed to what the giggle set up character-wise for the Doctor.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole segment was so great. I was like, I wish this was the special. Like, I could have had that.
Yeah.
I just really, it's like whenever they left that scene, I just wanted more of it. I actually kind of like would have loved to have just seen a whole episode where the Doctor was just there and, you know, having to live a year in like real time. And I think, it got a little bit like it skipped quite a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But I think they spent quite a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
And it was definitely an interesting thing for them to do. And I agree. I think it did have like connections back to the giggle and it was the type of thing that I was expecting to see of the Doctor more in series 1, but we didn't actually get it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I was wondering where they were going with it. I still am kind of wondering if it was like, I agree. I think narratively, it's like it's completely off the completely off the narrative, and like it's just kind of it's kind of odd, but I still kind of liked it.
Yeah,
it's my favorite part of the episode, but it also has the least to do with the episode itself.
I also like how we were sort of taking the piss out of the TARDIS for not having chairs.
Yeah,
there's actually sort of a bit of a plot point and an intentional thing at this point. Yeah. I would really love if season 2 started and they don't even have to reference it, but there's chairs in the TARDIS.
Awesome.
I think that would be such a good thing to be like, we are doing character work. Like this is a thing here, because what Doctor Who could sometimes do is give you the lesson of the week, or the Doctor learns something, but the next week he's not doing it, which is what annoyed me about the whole therapy side of the Doctor. We never really got to see that addressed in season 1, whereas now I think we finally are. So I would love this to be something going forward that they actually commit to.
Yeah, I agree. I love when Doctor Who does things like that. I could see. So I haven't been on Twitter because I haven't watched Gavin and Stacey yet. I don't want to get spoiled. So
Everyone dies.
did people great? did people really like that scene?
Yeah, I've also not been that. I've not gone through Twitter that much, but I think a lot of people like that. That's the best part of the episode.
Yeah, cool. Okay, I'm glad people really enjoyed it because that was like
Enjoy.
yeah, just seeing the Doctor wearing like regular clothes is so funny.
Yeah, and he's like working. He's the whole plumber gag. Everyone liked the plumber gag.
Yeah,
he's disarmed.
That's funny, and I like the it's kind of like Harry Potter-esque with the mop. The mop.
Yeah, I was sort of like this phone screwdriver can just do fucking anything now, can't it? But
it doesn't work on wood, but somehow it's working on wood.
Yeah, and I liked how he used. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I liked how he used the psychic paper to figure out what everyone's orders were as well. That was funny. I did think the ending was maybe not the performances, Murray's score, which I thought was great throughout the whole episode. But as always with Murray's score, sometimes he just goes a little too hard. And it's like, we spent 10 minutes with these characters. And whilst I love it, and I believe it, put the sticks down, Murray. And you could have just done some nice keys. Or, God forbid, silence. But no, he was waving them in the air going, die.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Joy's theme
for the. I like how. Yeah, she had a theme that we probably heard for about 3 seconds of the episode that she's in.
That's it.
Anyways, they close the time loop with Bootstrap Paradox.
Yep.
I don't mind the explanation when
I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
I don't mind it though.
It's so silly.
I don't care.
Can't the Doctor just do that every time now?
Well, no, because they said the time hotel is paradox coded or something like that.
Well, they did say the whole thing with the food. It's like 30 minutes ahead of time.
Yeah. He said
it's still microwaved, which
that was funny.
We can't perform miracles. I thought that was funny. There were a few lines in the episode that made me laugh.
Yeah, there are a lot of like classic Moffat.
What did you think of the
comedy.
flesh will rise?
What the fuck was that talking about?
I don't know.
What was that? I was thinking about that in my lovely shower after I watched the episode. I was like, what was the flesh will rise thing about?
But I like how when Joy's in the hotel and he thinks of Silurian and the Doctor trying to get it on, and then the Silurian's like, the flesh will rise, and then she's like, don't be gross. It's an erection joke. I can't believe it. I was just like, Moffat.
One thing I'll give Moffat this time, even though Boom is definitely the better structured episode, I actually think his dialogue was better in this episode than Boom, because there is great moments of dialogue in Boom, but there was that time where sometimes he would talk and you're like, this just doesn't feel like the 15th Doctor talking, and there was too many throwbacks to his era, which he said in a podcast I was listening to the other day actually. He was like, I watched it when Boom went out and was like, fuck. I did a few too many of them.
Right. Maybe I went a little too far in a few places.
That was it.
Yeah.
But this time, I think he only had a couple of throwback lines, and I felt like the dialogue felt a lot more like Ncuti's Doctor, and it was a little bit less poetry in everything they said. It's obviously there; it's very Moffat to do that. But Boom was like every line was like a fucking sonnet or like a poem or something. Whereas this just felt like natural conversations a bit more than Boom did.
It's like Christmas fun, as you say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
silliness.
I think as far the third act goes, I think I enjoyed it. I think the whole room hopping thing is actually a really cool idea. Wish it was explored a little bit more. But even the dinosaur room didn't bother me as much as I thought it would.
And it looked good.
I actually didn't hate it. I thought I would. I've been kind of memeing on the dinosaur a little bit.
I know.
And the whole scene before where he was trying to agonize her.
That was amazing, yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Like you could see what he was doing the whole time because we know the character of the Doctor just wouldn't do that.
The Doctor would never be mean.
Yeah. No. But it was good, and then you get this whole COVID thing, the fuck the Tories sort of situation.
Yeah.
Before we dive too deep into that, just on the dinosaur place, did you notice a little throwback to Series 1 in there? As in 2005 Series 1.
That's in 2005?
They added the good old, it's not a throwback, it's a joke, but they added the good old, like, slightly hazy filter over that stuff. Did you notice that?
What, so they can hide the CGI?
No, I just think that was just like the look they were going for this prehistoric time. And it's just like slightly foggy, just like how in season 1 and 2, it's just like this weird
aesthetic
they did.
I'm going to be honest, I did not know. So
It's subtle. It's definitely no season
you got
one.
the eye for that.
Yeah, well, that's me, mate. That's me.
Did you like the direction?
Yeah, I thought it was good. It never blew you away with anything.
Yeah.
And there was a couple times where
I agree.
I thought it wasn't bad. There was a couple of things I didn't think cut mainly when they first cut to the very obvious, just the doctors talking at each other moment. I just thought it was just the very obvious classic. We're gonna shoot a plate and get two of you and just blend it together. I thought they could have maybe done that stuff a little bit more creatively. It was very me and you filming a YouTube video where we need to replicate ourselves in the shots. It felt a very basic way of doing it, but other than that, I think it was good. Yeah, really good actually.
Yeah, I agree. So the dinosaur eats the briefcase and
he becomes the bomb thing, I guess.
Oh, so the dinosaur dies and then it becomes a fossil that then is in Bethlehem.
Yeah. At some point, this gets to Bethlehem. That's all I could say.
What the fuck?
But I did enjoy, and I saw someone on Twitter was like, only Steven Moffat could write the solution to the plot being the Doctor jumping through time periods using the brakes or the train tracks on the Orient Express to open the door to the tomb for a dinosaur's briefcase or something like that. I thought that was a fun, creative way. He went to Everest and grabbed the
rope and stuff.
The Indiana Jones shit.
The Indiana Jones shit, yeah.
And I thought that was fun. You're right. It would have been nice if we'd maybe set up those places a little bit more other than just like the one shot. It would have just paid off even more so. But for what you get in a 55-minute episode of TV, I thought it all works really well. It was a fun way to bring things together. And for an episode that really didn't have any action in it, which I thought was quite good for a Christmas special, because quite often exactly, but quite often these specials and Doctor Who in general is just running down corridors and stuff. So whenever you get an episode that it's like not doing that and is actually just telling an interesting enough story, it's good.
Well, all right. So I thought the whole ending thing was, I literally let out like a laugh when I saw Bethlehem year one.
Well, hold on. Let's not get there yet.
That is so fucking ridiculous.
Before that,
what?
We have horrific CGI Joy.
Oh my God, yes.
That looks so much. We thought the Star Beast CGI was bad.
Jesus Christ.
Hold my beer. This is an all-time green screen for Doctor Who. And it's because the lighting's weird with it coming from within her and stuff. It's hard to do, but it did not look good, especially when she starts to fly. It's grim.
Her name was Joy.
Joy. Yeah, so she fucking goes space Jesus off into the stars.
I'm going to go be with my mom. It's like, okay, cool.
It was definitely, once again, we're looking at things that have been coded and repeated in Doctor Who history from the past. We have someone turning to stardust and flying off to the star, but was just never as good as Voyage of the Damned. It's literally like the same vibe. A one-off companion sacrifices themselves, but it's just not as good as that was, which is disappointing.
Astrid was better though.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just so...
Astrid, like, still watching that makes me have a little sad.
I know, yeah. I just feel like Moffat should have done more work on the whole Joy character. I think, like, her only trait is, that she lost her mum. I think that's literally it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Single.
Yeah.
Lost mum.
Yep.
That's the character.
And, obviously that's really sad, and it's like people relate to sad shit. But I just think... I know that Moffat can write better characters.
Yeah, I agree.
Can and has.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was my fear going into it, is that I don't have any reason to like this Joy character, and it's that's kind of like what I felt there. Yeah,
especially because she comes off really kind in her first scene, but then there's like a scene where she's just a little bit annoying. The whole briefcase scene in the bedroom early on, I thought, and I get they're in her room. I get she wants them out of the room, but I was like, so
you preferred it when Joy was talking to a fly?
I did prefer it when Joy was talking to a fly, actually. So she turns into a star.
Yeah.
I enjoyed everyone enjoyed Joy to
the world.
Everyone looking up at Joy in the sky. I thought that was cute. I liked the Millie cameo. Would have been nice, and maybe this is something that they're going to play into with season 2 a little bit more. But I would have liked the Doctor to have actually made that phone call to show character work.
Yeah, so I thought it was him calling her at first.
Yeah, which
Wrong.
they didn't.
It's her mum.
Yeah, I would have liked that. But maybe that's the thing in season 2 when she's going to be like, you said you would see me. You said you cared about family.
Ruby, you've been replaced.
Welcome to Belinda.
Yeah.
Belinda Chandra. Yeah, so, but I did enjoy, like, it, again, sort of tying together bits of the episode I thought was quite nice. And then mum, COVID mum.
Sure.
I liked her looking at the star and I thought that's a beautiful touch. Did she have to start to absorb into the star? Probably didn't have to go that far with it, but here we are.
Joe, I love it's such a classic TV trope, like a movie trope, like the 4K like FaceTime screen.
Oh, I noticed that straight away.
I hate stuff like that.
Just make it a little bit grainy or a little bit glitchy.
Literally, it's like it's so annoying. I hate how they do that.
I don't know. Are these like 60-year-old men doing the VFX on this?
Yeah.
Like, surely not. Like, it's people that know how these things look.
Yeah.
And it's people that know.
Yes.
Like, I feel like everyone complains about that. It's such a common thing.
I know.
Why are we doing this?
It was just great Wi-Fi in the hospital, you know.
Very good Wi-Fi, to be fair.
And
she has a 4K camera at home too.
Yeah, just to FaceTime in.
Yeah.
I thought the whole star thing was so dumb and laughably stupid. And the Millie cameo, I could. It's like, what was the point? Like, she's just there for. Did they really just call Millie Gibson to come in for one day?
Well, I assume they probably shot at the same time they shot her other episodes.
Surely
they would have.
Like, but it's just so. Well, yeah, because you can tell with her hair as well. Her hair's different. I just thought it was dumb. I could have gone without it. Even like as much as it was cool to see her.
Yeah.
I think, it's like, distance makes the heart fonder or whatever the fuck the saying is.
Yeah.
Sure. Grow fonder. I would have enjoyed maybe waiting for series 2 to see her again. Here, it's like, if the Doctor had called her, which is what we were saying, I thought it was, but it wasn't. It was her mum.
A bit more of a character thing. Yeah, I get you.
Joy to the world.
Joy to
Of course. Her name was Joy. Bethlehem. Year 1.
Oh my goodness me. So unnecessary, but also so like, just fuck it. Like
I literally just laughed. I was just like, fucking hell, Moffat.
Steven Moffat is making an enemy out of religion. Like, he doesn't need to write an enemy because he's making his own enemies when he makes his episodes. Like the whole religious stuff in Boom.
Yeah,
and then you have this, which is such like an unnecessary thing, but I was thinking it's like Doctor Who always does like a sci-fi twist on a folk tale or of actual like real events.
Yeah,
like it does that. So I don't think this is a criminal thing for Doctor Who to do. It's just a fun little. It ends. The last shot makes it look like a nativity play. Like it's a cute Christmas thing. I wouldn't take it too seriously.
Yeah, it's not a very Christmassy episode either. So it's like they kind of have to end on Bethlehem.
Yeah, I think it's Christmassy enough. Because I think it's no less Christmassy than Christmas Invasion. Because I watched that about a month ago, and I thought, you know what? Other than like the first act, it's not Christmassy really.
What about I'm gonna get killed by a Christmas
Well, that's the
tree.
first act, isn't it? So,
what's the hat tip?
Listen
what's
to
me.
All
right. Just telling me to stay in my place.
Yeah,
I get it.
Stay in your lane, asshole.
I get it. Okay. Yeah. I think you liked it a lot more than me, which is okay. I think
had fun.
I think it,
I don't know if I've said that yet.
Fun is Aiden's review. I think it was just like okay, and I'll probably never watch it again.
I think I'll watch it again.
I'll watch that second act scene again. I genuinely like give me that. I would have loved that for the whole episode. Like the Doctor gets stuck in the first act, and it's like him getting back, and he's forced to stay in this place for a year and just work. I would have loved that.
But
I would kill for that.
But Moffat already has written a Doctor stuck on a landmine for an episode, so it was probably like, I can't be fucked doing this again.
But that's the kind of shit I like.
I know.
You know I'm a simp for dialogue. Can I just say though, I thought series 2 looked really good.
Oh yeah, the trailer. Yeah,
I think it looked really good.
Yeah,
I love that cinema scene with the animation car. It looked great.
The best thing that Disney Doctor Who has done.
It looks so stunning.
It's the best use of their budget, I think.
Yeah, I'm really. It actually looks really good.
I'm here for it.
I'm excited. I'm excited for series 2, and you can watch Aiden's breakdown in the Malaysian.
Maybe if I put it there, but it'll be on the channel.
I have Aiden Green's birthday present.
So in the spirit of Christmas, we shall get into it.
By the way, look how good my wrapping's got these days.
Yeah, you used to give me this stuff in tinfoil.
It's got 2 little cute stars on it.
Can I predict what's going on here?
Predict what it is.
Well, the size definitely gives Blu-ray energy.
Yes.
So my prediction would be it is the Toymaker animation.
No. What?
Well, because every time we bring that up, you'll say, "Oh, that'll be a good birthday present for Aiden."
That's not true at all.
Thank you very much for this, Connor.
No worries.
What could this be?
I hope I took the tag off. No, I did. It's not the Toymaker.
It's not the Toymaker.
No,
he says.
it's not.
It's not. Is this a game too? Confirmed. It's a Blu-ray. I see the blue.
It could be a PlayStation game.
It could be a PlayStation game, and then the first thing I see is the Toymaker.
Literally, you actually can see the
His
Toymaker.
little head peeking through.
Oh god,
That is
how
lovely,
did you
Connor.
know?
Thank you very much
worries.
for adding another animation to my.
Because you don't have it, do you?
I don't have this
Okay,
one, no.
good. Have you seen it?
No, and I actually want to because I know it's got like a very different style animation.
Yeah, I thought you'd enjoy watching it.
And I'm definitely keen to check this one out. And I like supporting physical media in Australia because people don't, and it means that we don't get a lot of physical media.
Well, funny about that. That's why I got it so late because turns out people don't. They love the Blu-ray of the Celestial Toymaker.
Oh right, but not the
They don't love the DVD.
Right.
I found so many like literally I went to JB Hi-Fi and like me and the bloke were like getting boxes out.
Oh really?
Like he's like there's one in the store and we were just trying to find it and like there was like so many DVDs of it. And he's like, you sure you need it on Blu-ray? I was like, literally yes. Like he won't want the.
This is the one guy that will not watch the DVD.
I was like, he won't want the DVD. It's like and like literally we found one.
There we go. No,
And
thank
I was
you,
like,
mate.
fuck yeah.
That's cool. I'm excited to give that a watch.
I was like, there it is. I was so excited when I saw it. I was like, there it is.
That's you watching that Joy to the World scene where they sit down in the chair.
That's me ready to go, baby.
And this will be good for me to study up on the more pantheon of gods that are going to be coming in season 2 by the looks of it.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm keen. Thank you, sir.
No worries. Hope
Keen
you
to get
enjoy it.
stuck
Let me
into
know
that.
what you think.
Very nice.
Is it on iPlayer?
No, it wouldn't be yet. Probably
that's
will
cool.
eventually.
It's good to know it's just exclusively on like Blu-ray and shit.
Hey,
Nice.
a lovely update on physical media in Australia is the Ted Lasso Complete Series DVD was only available for DVD in Australia, but obviously, a few weeks ago it became available on Blu-ray. So it means the DVD sold well enough that it justified them doing a Blu-ray version of it, which was a Christmas present from my girlfriend actually.
What, the Blu-rays?
The Blu-ray for the whole
Oh,
series.
wow.
Yeah,
Does it come in a football?
that would be funny, but no, it's just standard Blu-ray box set vibe.
Nice. So that's 1 to 3.
That's 1 to 3.
Wow.
But it's
cool.
like it's just very nice to see something overdo because I think quite often physical media in Australia undersells what they're predicting.
Right.
So it was nice that clearly the DVD was so successful it justified a Blu-ray release later on.
Fantastic. It's
is
always
cool.
hard with streaming shit, you know. It's like
Yeah, especially
it's so accessible these days, you know.
yeah, exactly. Anyways, Connor, what do you want to give Joy to the World out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a 6.
A 6.
A 6.
A
yeah.
6. Well, then that makes because when I first watched it, I thought, yeah, I think that's a 7. And then I also think
made such great points.
it's so flawed in so many ways, but I think at 6.5 is okay. Let me have a look. No, because I gave the Devil's Court a 6, and I think this is better than the Devil's Court. I think it's better than Dot and Bubble. I'm gonna give it a 6.7. Sorry, no, I'm gonna give it a 7. Is what I mean to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave Church and Ruby Road a 7. Space Babies a 7. I'd say it's on par with those. So,
I agree.
Joy of the
I'd
World-
say it's on par with Church and Ruby Road, I'd say.
Yeah, arguably, maybe I'd enjoy this a little bit more than Church on Ruby Road.
Maybe by a fly stick I did, just because of that second act stuff.
Yeah,
Which according to Steven Moffat wasn't even planned.
and I think the third act of Church on Ruby Road gets a little bit boring. So I
agree.
I think the third act of this is a little bit more interesting than the third act of that. But it's like
Yeah.
comparing like just corporate slop with corporate slop, isn't it? In a way,
Capitalism.
capitalism. Thanks, Oxygen. Guys, thank you very much. Like we said, trailer breakdown on the channel. We'll be back this Sunday with our revisited review of Eve
of the Daleks.
Of the Daleks. So
Nice.
it's a fun little short episode of the podcast that will be out on your doorstep on the regular time.
That's it for the whole year. Last episode of the year.
That will be the last episode of the year. Yeah,
Yeah, last time we're filming is today. So
yeah. That's the season wrap on
on
The boys,
Coronated
50%.
2024.
Anyway, subscribe. We'll see you next time. It's
Aiden and Connor's podcast. We're doing Doctor Who reviews on a Thursday.
Yes, Who reviews
What day
on
is
Boxing
it?
Day.
It's Boxing Day. Is it Thursday?
Boxing Day,
It is Thursday, isn't it?
which is usually our recording day.
It's
anyways.
Thursday. Yes, so we're normally
Just not at 10:30 a.m. with a ginger beer.
with a ginger beer. Merry Christmas, everyone, and to all good night.
Cheers. Sorry if I spoiled the fact that everyone dies in Gavin and Stacey. Guys, sorry about that one.